Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Noshai, Bashem HaKadosh, the bonds of the Apostle Elder, the great millstone, that taught me this 100% truth to rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there pushing truth in all sincerity on the highways and byways, and rest of life to do so. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered on the four corners of the earth, that believe in the truth of Yahweh Bashem Noshai. Shalom. I think the name of the lesson would be The Lord Does Hate. This is Psalms 5:5, which reads, "The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity." Yeah, the Lord says, He hates, those that sin. You know what I'm saying? And that's even going, to, his own people. 2/3 of the nation of Israel. The Lord pretty much He hates, you know, the wickedness that they commit. You know, you know, taking after the ways, of their oppressor. Partaking in the things that separate them from Yahweh Shema Shai. Partaking in wickedness like committing adultery, homosexuality, celebrating wicked holidays like uh, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Just a few. What's the day? The 15th. You know, so-called February 14th. The other day was so-called Valentine's Day, or whatever. And I know many of our people partake in that. You know, um, that's wickedness. You know, in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shai, because you're serving, an idol God. You partaking in a pagan custom. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord, He hates that. He hates, His people going off and taking upon the ways, of the heathens, and the oppressor. And many of our people, they're stuck in that, you know. And the Lord, you know what I'm saying, He hates, those that sin. You know what I'm saying? So, in plantation Christianity, they say that, the Lord hates the sin but loves the sinner. But clearly here, King David is telling you that, the Lord hates the worker of iniquity. If you're doing iniquity, the Lord hates you, which is sin. So it's not the work that He hates. He hates both. He does hate the work, but He also hates the person that's doing the work. You know what I'm saying? As well. So if you're a worker of iniquity, the Lord hates you. You know what I'm saying? This is Ben Sirach, Schiliasticus 12:6, which read, "For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment." Yeah, the Lord hates those that sin. You know what I'm saying? Even of His own people. That's why, 2/3 here in Babylon are going to get destroyed, because they're going off and they're sinning against their power. So they're going to get their punishment in the day of the judgment of the Lord. In the in the day that of the Lord's coming, is going to be great judgment in that day. And those that have gone off and sinned against Yahweh Shema Shai, they're going of His own people are going to be destroyed. You know, this is Malachi 1:2, which reads, "Have I loved you, saith Yahweh? Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith Yahweh? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness." Yeah, the Lord said He hate Esau, Edom. You know what I'm saying? He hates uh, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. You know, because the Lord, chose him, to be the hated, to be the wicked of the earth. You know what I'm saying? To go off, to be His adversary. The Lord chose him to be the villain. We're gonna read on. "Whereas Edom saith, We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places." And this devil, he did that. You know what I'm saying? He came back, after the Lord took him out of power, and he came back and rebuilt his kingdom and his Roman Empire in what you call modern day Babylon, uh, so-called United States of America. You know what I'm saying? Reading on, thus saith your Lord, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build up, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh have indignation forever. The Lord got a perpetual hatred against you forever because He chose you to be the wicked of the earth. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. You know what I'm saying? As you know, this is in Job 9:24. And Esau, Edom, the earth is given into his hand. This is his rulership. This is his current kingdom. You know, his revival when the Lord, took him out of the power and destroyed Rome. He resurrected. You know what I'm saying? In his Renaissance era and came back into power and created, a new king, a new kingdom here in the U.S. Great Britain. That's all part of his, resurrection or whatnot. And United States pretty much branched off from that. You know what I'm saying? And this devil, what I'm saying, he's in his reign. But the Lord has, chose him to, to be in his position in these last days before he come and make an example of him. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord raised this devil up, gave, the earth into his hands, just to so he can make an example of him in these last days and save the nation of Israel out of his hands and, for the great exodus that's to come. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord, he coming in his chariots, with the army of hosts, and the Lord's going to give great destruction to this devil and, even, two-thirds of his own people. But, the Lord does hate, you know what I'm saying? He hates sinners, and he hates Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And he has a perpetual indignation against him, you know what I'm saying? Forever, you know what I'm saying? And, there's no running away from this. It's just that, this is how the Lord wrote his story. He wrote Esau, Edom up to be the villain. And Esau, Edom is Cain in the reincarnation, you know what I'm saying? He's the accuser of his brethren, and he hates his brother, you know what I'm saying? Just like Cain did, just like Esau did, you know what I'm saying? So, because he's Cain in the reincarnation, and, that curse has stuck with him, and he was born, without pigmentation because he had that mark placed upon him, from Cain and whatnot. And, you know, uh, his name itself, Esau means wasted away is he. That's why he has no pigmentation. He's not this so-called white man. He's actually the red man. You know what I'm saying? That's why they describe his coming out as red or whatnot, as a hairy garment. You know, because he had no pigmentation, and that's part of the mark that the Lord placed upon him as the mark of Cain, and he came back into play as Esau. This is Romans 9:13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, and but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? God forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Yeah, the Lord gets to decide. You know what I'm saying? This is his movie. This is, what I'm saying, his show that, this is his story that he has written, and he chose, one vessel, to have compassion upon, and one vessel, to be the villain. And Esau Edom has been chosen to be the villain, and Jacob, he has chosen to be the beloved vessel that he's gonna give salvation into. Read on. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that it's like it in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So the purpose of Esau Edom being in power is so the Lord can take him out of power, and so the Lord can destroy him and make an example of him and show his power. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord put Esau Edom in the power seat currently because he's the modern day Pharaoh, and he raised him up. You know what I'm saying? Because he to show you the power of Yahweh Shemashai, this devil, he was created to be a slave, and a servant. But the Lord, raised up the basis of men because he's the lowest of all men. And he put him in a seat to rule the whole earth. You know what I'm saying? And that's the power of Yahweh Shemashai. He took the lowest of men and put him in the power seat, the most wicked of all men upon the face of the earth, and put him in the power seat just so he can make an example of him. You know what I'm saying? Read on, therefore have he mercy on him. He will have mercy on whom he will. It's like it. Therefore have he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he hardeneth. Yeah. So the Lord is, chosen Jacob to have mercy upon, and he told Esau to hardeneth. You know what I'm saying? Thou will say, then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Yeah. Who has resisted the will of Yahweh Shemashai? That's why I say, it's Lord willing, because it's always the Lord's will at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And you can't find fault with the Lord because the Lord chose the so-called white man to be the wicked of the earth, to be to create chaos, and to be the devil in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? He chose him to be the villain. That's the way the Lord has written it. You know what I'm saying? And he can't find fault with that because, he's been chosen to, to play that role. And that's how the Lord made it. And the Lord decided, I'm going to have Jacob, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know what I'm saying, as his peculiar people and his special people. And he's going to show them mercy. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to make them greater than all the other nations on the earth. And, he's going to have, his enemies raised up against him and punish his people through the hands of the wicked, which is Esau Edom. Nay, but O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? Shall the thing that formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Yeah, how can Esau Edom ask how the Lord has made him thus? The Lord made him that way. Lord, why did you make me the wicked of the earth and evil so you can just punish me? Because that's what the Lord does. This is his story. You know what I'm saying? You could feel some type of way, but that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's the way the Lord has written, his um movie. You know what I'm saying? Because we're actually just playing out a movie that the Lord has written, you know, and he chose, the so-called white man to be the villain, and that's just it. You know what I'm saying? When you bring this truth out, people take offense to it, but it's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way that the Lord has, created it to be. The white man is the devil, and he's out here, trying to, continue to hold on to his blessing. That's why he covered with this MOTB. You know, his wicked device, to try to hold on to his kingdom, but it's not gonna last. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is, allowed the devil to have this great reign in these last days, and he was going to be the last kingdom to stand before the Lord's coming, and the Lord is going to take him out, and that's where we're at right now. We're at the end of this devil's kingdom. The Lord is getting ready to take this devil out of power, just fulfilling prophecy, as raising him up to be the wicked of the earth and letting him have his rule. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord is fair, and he let him live out his blessing that was given unto him, to take the world by force with the sword. You know what I'm saying? And take his brother into submission. But that time is pretty much almost up now. We're at the end of that. That's why you see all these things happening in these last days with the awakening of the nation of Israel, the UFO sightings, the mark of the beast, RFID chip on scene, them transferring to the digital currency to bring that in. World War III on the brinks, the times of Jacob trouble, famines, all that is in the work, you know what I'm saying? Food prices going high inflation and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's going to be civil war, race wars taking place. You know what I'm saying? Insurrection among the people. You know, cannibalism. All these things are getting ready to take place here soon to come. You know what I'm saying? And this is 2023, the hopeful year of all prophecies coming to pass. And the Lord is actually speeding this thing up. Read on Romans 9:21. Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another to dishonor? Yeah, and Jacob is the honorable vessel that the Lord loves, and Esau Edom is the dishonorable vessel that the Lord hates. What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endureth with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? Yeah, the Lord made, the nation of Israel have long suffering at the hands of this devil. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord is, getting ready to bring great destruction into him, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which hath afore prepared unto glory. Yeah, the Lord is, preparing, you know, uh, mercy for the nation of Israel, getting ready to take the devil out of his policy. Even us, whom he called not of the Jews only, but also the Gentiles. And this is talking about the Israelite foreigners. Now, because, we had our people that knew they were Israelites, referred to as Jews, but also, our people, who were also Israelites, that took upon heathen customs or Gentile customs. They referred to them as Gentiles, so they were Israelite foreigners, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I want from that. But yeah, so as you can see, the Lord hates Esau Edom, and he has raised him up to be the modern day Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? So he could take him out of power, so he could show the world his power. And this is going to be the great exodus that the Lord brings when the Lord comes, with the chariots to take us out of our captivity for the four corners of the earth, especially here in Babylon the Great, because this place is going to get it the worst. The Lord is saving this place for last. You know what I'm saying? And He's going to bring great destruction to this place, and on the nation of Israel, we're going to rejoice in that day. Those of the elect, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we're going to be in fear, of the things that will take place. But the Lord is, He going to, you know, save us out of this. Those are, who are of the hopeful elect, and Lord willing, I'm amongst that number. But you show you the Lord, He's balanced. You know what I'm saying? He said He loved Jacob and He hate Esau. You know what I'm saying? That's balance right there. The Lord controls both sides of the spectrum, and He does hate Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And he's going to be destroyed. You know. So Esau, Edom, all you white niggas out there, yeah, live it up, man, because this is the end of it. This is the end of your kingdom. Enjoy the last days that you have here on this earth, because your time is up. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to be destroyed. This is Proverbs 6:16, which reads, "These six things doth Yahweh hate, ye seven are an abomination to Him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood." Yeah, and Esau Edom is that proud. Is the proud man. He gets that proud look. Esau Edom. You know what I'm saying? Even his logo, he's proud to be an American. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, uh, that's that pride that he has. You know what I'm saying? Showing you, uh, you know, he's just a wicked, proud man that the Lord hates. A lying tongue. Yeah, this devil's a liar. You know what I'm saying? He told you that, you know, he's the real Jew. You know what I'm saying? The Jewish people. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that they're converts. He told you that, you're so-called African American, you're so-called Latino, you're so-called Native American. He told you that he discovered the land which he stole. You know what I'm saying? He told you that, the Lord loves everybody, and the name of the Savior is so-called Jesus Christ, a so-called white man. He told you that, his Savior is a so-called white man, that He loves everybody, that anybody can come into Him, and He gonna give salvation to him. You know what I'm saying? This devil did all that. He you know, show you, he's a liar, and his head shed, and hands that shed of blood, innocent blood, and he shed the blood of the nation of Israel, the innocent of the nation of Israel, the apple of the Lord's eye. He did that. You know what I'm saying? And he's hated for that. You know, because he is the wicked that the Lord has raised up. You know, to be a whipping stick into the nation of Israel, for our punishment. Read on Proverbs 6:18, and heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift to running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that showeth discord among brethren. Yeah, and the Lord, He hates all that. If you partake in these things, you hate your brethren. You serving discourse, and there's many of you know these Israelites out here sowing discourse, among the brethren. You're hated by Yahweh Shemashai, and that's why you see people, you know, you know, brothers, who come into this thing, they fall out. You know what I'm saying? When they get rebuked and get, um, correction, reproof. You know what I'm saying? They fall out of this truth. You know what I'm saying? Because of the discord among the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord has rebuked them and put them outside because they're not a part of the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? So and that's part of their judgment. You know, they go after they get kicked out the camp. They raise up against the men of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And start to attack and demonize it. You know, and that's only because that's the lot that has been given to him by Yahweh Shai, and um, that's the 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 judgment that the Lord has ordained for them to have, for that for them to be fallouts, and reap that judgment. You know what I'm saying? Because they showing that they hate Yahweh Shai when they come against the man of the Lord. So the Lord, you know what I'm saying? So they're hated by the Lord Himself. Because even as David said, Lord, I hate those that hate Thee. You know, and that's going into the 2/3, and also Esau Edom. You know, the so-called white man, because Esau Edom, he hates everything that Yahweh Shemashah stands for. You know, and that's why he's so keen on pushing homosexuality and even bestiality and pedophilia and what I'm saying, adultery or whatnot. This devil, what I'm saying, he has created his own law to protect you know uh, homosexuals or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Showing you that he's the wicked. He's against everything and giving them certain rights. Showing that he's against everything that Yahweh Shemashah stand for. Because if he was for the Lord, he would keep the Lord's commandments. And if he saw somebody who committed adultery, what I'm saying, he would put them to death. Or if he saw someone that was out here, uh, you know committing homosexual acts, he would put them to death. This is his kingdom, this is his rule. He can do those, put those rights forth, but he doesn't because he hates the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And he's against everything the Lord stands for. And in his wicked kingdom, these things are accepted. You know what I'm saying? And he looks at those that are against it or sees you know uh so, you know those that reject homosexuality. You're the one who's wrong. You're the one who has no compassion. You know what I'm saying? You're the one who's going to be canceled. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that the Lord loves everybody. No, that's not so. The Lord don't love homosexuals. The Lord said put them to death. You know what I'm saying? That's what's allowed in Esau Edom's kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And if against the Lord, you're gonna have that agreement with Esau Edom. And you see many people, who are homosexual and becoming transgender. You know what I'm saying? When that's totally against the Lord, and that's a sin against the Lord. So if you partake in those things, you're hated by the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Along with Esau Edom. you know. So that's pretty much it. I want to ramble on much more about, you know, but yeah, you know, this is, you know, just brought this out to show you that, you know, the Lord does hate, you know what I'm saying? And he hates Esau, Edom, the white man, the so-called white man, with a perfect hatred, you know what I'm saying? The Lord hates this devil, and that's why he's going to be taken out of his power seat very soon. The Lord is on his way. And, you know, us, you know, who of the hopeful elect, we can't wait for that day, you know what I'm saying? Because Esau, Edom is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Our kingdom is coming up next, man. So I just want to say, Kol Hola Yahabashim Ashai, Kwam Mashiwala, Ba Ba Ba, Shalom.